Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, peace and salutation to the elect. And all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and truth. This is brother Thamine from GMS Toronto. Coming at you with another video, right? Today's video, I'm going to be talking about reasons why the islands are going to be eradicated in this Third World War. All right, because I'm from the islands, and the things that go on these islands among Jake and these other tears that's among Jake, right? On these islands, it's diabolical, man. Right? On YouTube, you don't really want to get a strike, but I'm gonna be as careful as I can, right? Because of the algorithm and the constant watch that we're under saying certain things, right? I came across this like yesterday, I think. 50 bodies of infants dumped at Trinidad graveyard, right? These are the islands, and I can make videos about the islands all day, every day, man, right? Because most of the time we're focused on America, we're focused on Babylon the Great, we're focused on mainly that, really, right? But the islands, the same things that's happening up here are the same thing that's happening elsewhere, man. Right? Unaliving of little, children are happening all over the world. Right? Some are sacrificed, right? Mainly sacrificed, really. So we're worried about those small hats doing their things up here, but on the islands, the same things are happening, because kidnappings happening on these islands, right? A lot of kidnapping happened in Jamaica and Trinidad, right? A lot of kidnapping. Last year, a child got kidnapped in was it last year or 2 years ago now, in Guyana, right? And she was sacrificed in a hotel. She was there with her grandmother, hanging out at a swimming pool, right? So it says that the remains of at least 50 infants and 6 adults have been dumped at a graveyard in Trinidad and Tobago, police say. Right? What are the reasons why 50 infants and 6 adults are going to be dumped at a graveyard? There's a lot of, what do you call that again? I'm trying to be as careful as I can, right? Harvesting going on, and it's worldwide. A lot of these Edomites, they send to where the Israelites are, and they have connections all over the world, man. Right? A lot of these old Edomites with bad hearts, bad blood, bad organs, right? Who don't wanna kick the bucket just yet. They be sending all over the world for matches, right? And sometimes they get matches in the Caribbean, right? What do you call that guy? I was watching a documentary on Netflix. The Murdoch family. He owns, I think, Fox and a bunch of those big companies, news companies, right? He didn't want to die. They call him immortal. I'm not even too sure if he's dead, but he's he's an old man, and he doesn't want to die, man. So what do you think he's doing behind the scenes, right? How many heart transplant did that Rockefeller guy who died a couple of years ago? How many transplant did he have? Right, five or six or something like that, man. But that's what these children are being used for, and everyone knows that Trinidad is known for their witchcraft. Everyone always focus on Haiti, but being from a smaller island, when people on my island wanted to get dirty, down and dirty, and do something to someone, they go to Trinidad, right? Anyways, back to the topic at hand here. The country's police, TTPS, said in a statement that the bodies were found in the town of Kumodo, right? Kumuto, about 40 kilometers, 25 miles from the capital of Port of Spain in Trinidad, right? And one of the two islands forming the Caribbean nation. The preliminary investigation showed it may be a case of unlawful disposal of unclaimed corpse. It added, "No, you're speculating because you don't want to get to the real root of the problem, right? 50 children, right? In Trinidad, 50 children don't die a month, right? Obviously, this is from something else. This is something greater, right? Because once someone died, what do? You bury them. So the fact that this was dumped right in a burial yard shows a lot, right? At least have the audacity to bury these bodies, man, and their children too, right? So the whole spilling children's blood goes on everywhere, right? That's another reason why these islands need to go. The Lord's gonna take the elect out of these islands and then destroy the rest, right? Anyway, preliminary investigation showed it may be a case of unlawful disposal of unclaimed corpse. It added, yes, so if it was unclaimed, burn them, right? Burn them. You can, burn them or bury them. Why do you have to just dump them on the side of the road, man, or in a graveyard, right? So that means this wasn't issued by the government then. I mean, this was a private company doing this shit. And then they probably know who it is, and they just don't want to, those guys have money. So you Israelites, your life don't really matter, man, right? And this probably come from the A word, right? And it ends with Shan, right? Ashan, right? AB, you know what I'm talking about. That can be from that because a lot of these people go down to the Caribbean and do the stem cells, right? So you never know what's going on. But the fact that the bodies were from Trinidad and they were just got dumped on the side shows you how much respect that they have for you Israelites, man. And most of the time it's Jake behind the dumping anyways. They don't really have any respect for themselves, right? It says here, it is unclear if the incident is linked to gang violence. So it's getting even worse. Gang violence. Why are you killing children? You know what I'm saying? In the country with one of the highest murder rates in Latin America and the Caribbean. Listen, it's not Latin America, right? This is total separate, right? The regions are already divided, okay? But I get it. Amerigo, right? It's bitter. Caribbean is a bitter place, man. The police statement said 5 of the 6 adults, 4 men and 2 women, had identification tags on them. 2 showed sign of having had post-mortem examination. The discovery was deeply troubling. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara, said an individual or an institution found to have violated the duty will be held. Let me read it again. Any individual or institution found to have violated the duty will be held fully accountable, the commissioner said. So, they don't want to get to the bottom of this. Okay? They don't want to get to the bottom of this because they know there are rich people involved in this, man. This is stem cell, this is body parts, it's organs. Right? When you go to these places on vacation, you gotta be careful, man. Right? You gotta be careful with these locals. Stay on the resort. Okay? Anyways, let's get merciless murders of children. Yeah, there it is. One of my favorite scriptures because this happened all over the place, man. This was happening in the land of Yasha of Israel before we got there. Right, that's why the Lord had to kick these other nations out, man. What's the one Solomon? 12. Right? So the Lord had to clean this place up. That's why he had to take these nations out, man. But guess what? You're doing it now. Right? You Israelites are doing the same thing that the wicked have done in the past. So now you're becoming the wicked. You've surpassed the wicked with your deeds. Wisdom of Solomon 12:1. For the incorruptible spirit is in all things. Therefore, chastenest thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended, right? That leaving their wickedness, they may believe on thee, O Lord. Yeah, just the elect are gonna leave the wickedness behind, but the rest are not. Okay, for it was thy will to destroy the old Salakia by the hand of our fathers. Let me read it again, verse 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of the whole of thy holy land. Right? So this is the acts that they were getting into. Whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft. And Trinidad, that's very high on the totem pole, along with Jamaica, along with St. Lucia, St. Vincent, all these other islands, even Latin America, man. Right? It's laden with witchcraft and human sacrifices and wicked sacrifices, right? And also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feast of blood, with their priest out of the midst of the idolatrous crew and the parents and that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help, that the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of Yahweh's children. So I read that because guess what? Israel is a people before a place, right? The more we get that in our head, the more we know that our people are wicked, man. Right? The Israelites, wherever they are, that's Israel. Right? Israel is everywhere. Israel's in the Caribbean. Israel is in North America. It's in South America. It's in Assyria, right? Because there are a lot of communities. It's in Iraq. It's in Iraq. It's in Iran, right? It's in Italy. It's in Europe. It's in North Africa. It's in West Africa, right? Our people are all over, and they're practicing these things. That's the reason why we came over here in these boats, anyways, and these ships, right? That's the reason why we're being treated the way we are being treated, because we don't follow the Heavenly Father's words, right? And plus, we're amongst these other nations that corrupt our people, man. So the same thing happened back then, when the first death happened, when the earth was corrupt, right? Genesis 6, the whole earth was corrupt, right? And that's why I'm saying I'm advocating to the Lord for him to this is the reason why these islands gotta go. These fucking islands gotta go, man. This is Genesis 6 and 11. The earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And Yahweh looked upon the earth and beheld it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And now the reason why this is happening, because our people are not in their right mind, and plus Esau's ruling. Those are the two reasons. The real stewards of the earth, right, are not stewarding the earth. Secondly, Yahushai, right, he's not here to implement the rules and laws of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? Everyone hasn't bowed down to Yahweh Shem Shai yet, right? All these nations need to be put on the feet, man, because when the nations are ruling, this is what happens. Especially the most wicked, diabolical nation is ruling right now, and this is what we're having. Our people are corrupt, man. And Yahweh said unto Noah, the end of all flesh has come up before me. And guess what? We represent no one in this time. We're telling you people, the end of all flesh has come up before the Lord, man. Right? For the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. And that's what's about to happen again. We're telling you it's about to happen again. Let me bring the islands, yeah, shall be removed. So you niggas down in the islands, don't think you're safe, because a couple of months ago, Babylon the Great sent their ships right next to you, right next door, and all you were down there panicking, man. Right? This is Revelation 16, and I just get the whole thing Revelation. Revelations 16 and 16, I guess. It says here, and he gathered them together, which these are the nations, into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Amagadwan. This is the mountain of troops, right, in the Middle East, and that's where the Third World War is gonna start, and this is gonna trickle over into the West, gonna trickle over into the whole world, right? And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven and the throne, saying, "It is done." Wait, yep. Where is it? And there were the voices and thunders and lightnings, and there were a great earthquake, such as it was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. And we're talking about the missile, those missiles dropping on the earth. Okay, mainly Babylon the Great, because these things are gonna go back and forth, right? It's gonna make the earth shake like a drunkard, man, right? And that comes with tsunami, that comes with natural disasters, that trickles a lot of volcanoes, right? So you people in the islands, this is what's coming to you. This is a warning to you, right? For all the wickedness you've been doing down there, anyways. And the great city, which is America, Babylon the Great, was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, right? And great Babylon came into remembrance before God, right? So the Lord's gonna remember when all these things about to happen. The Lord's gonna know this. Okay, it's time. It's time for that city to be destroyed because of all the things it has done unto the planet Earth. Okay, it corrupted nations. It destroyed nations. It destroyed you Israelites, right? To give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. So the same thing happened in Genesis 6 when Noah was warning. The same thing we're telling you right now, right? It's about to happen again, but this time it's going to be with fire, missiles. Verse 20, this is the main point. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. Okay? So that's the point. It's a warning to you, you islanders, you Trinidad people, you Guyanese, you St. Vincent, you St. Lucians, you Grenadians, you Dominicans, right? You Haitians, you Cubans, you Dominican Republicans, right? You Puerto Ricans, you St. Thomas, Martinique, Aruba, Bahamas, all these places that you see, man, all these islands, you've been warned. Shalom.